Hello you all, I am Bodie. Welcome back to the channel, The Novice Lumberjack. And I am here to tell you about the third version of the Ratchet Scrench. So, that's right, 3 versions. As I know the story, okay? I'm sure that other people will know it much better. The first version, it was broken. It was the head unit right here had problems. I don't know if it was the gears inside or if it was the casting. I'm not sure, but that would break. Second version, the tip of the screwdriver was not strong enough, and that is what I had problems with. I used it and I immediately, the first time I tried to tighten or loosen a screw, I can't remember which it was, but it was just normal use and it went zoop, it just turned like butter. And I was like, man, that was crap. But I thought that it was such a good idea that I went ahead and I jerried up some little configuration where I used I just saw one right here. One of these little tips right here like this. I welded it on so that I could continue using the tool because I thought the tool was very slick and very good idea. So, well, version 3 is in my hands right now. This is the third iteration, and what we have is we have no problems with the head piece at all with the ratchet portion, and the whole body has been forged instead of cast, and so it's a lot stronger on that tip. All right, now I really considered taking this and putting it to, putting a screw in the vise and like torture testing this tip. I really considered that, but I don't want to screw it up. I like it, and it's as strong as any conventional screwdriver that I've tested. Now it may not be as strong as these where they have the dual, you can barely see it in there, but it has a different metal for the tip. It may not be quite as strong as that, or it may be. I don't know. I'm never going to find out because I don't want this thing to fail, ever. I like it that much. So I got this Nick, who is, I believe, the CEO of the company. He started it. It was his idea. He was a forester, I believe. And now he's come up with this idea of a ratcheting scrench, because we all know them. We all use them, right? Bam, there's a regular one. Right, but the problem with these is twofold. One, you gotta, of course, you've got to put it on, use it, put it back, use it. So this right here takes care of that. It ratchets. Nice, right? We got that. But the big thing that a lot of people don't think of is look at this. The size difference. So if you have a chainsaw that's got a full wrap handlebar, these right here, you can't fit them into that back bolt, the furthest one back, or nut I should say, because it's too much length to it right there. This, no problem, it can fit in there, and so it's tight, really snug, nice. It can get behind those full wrap handles. I don't have a setup. Yeah, I do. So this gives us an opportunity as well. That Johnson Red that I just had has 13 millimeter bar nuts, I should say. All right. This right here has the steel type of bar nuts, and I believe, what are they, 19 millimeters? I don't have my sockets here because I just came back from an event. Either 17, 18, or 19 millimeter, and they're the same size as a conventional spark plug. So on one side, it fits nearly all of your spark plugs, except for the new modern 10 millimeter plugs. They don't quite, it doesn't fit that. But all of the old stuff that right there is going to fit pretty much every single spark plug you got. And it's going to fit either the steel type, and I know this is an Echo. Echo uses that in some of their models. Or on the other side, the 13 millimeter, which is going to fit pretty much everything else. So you've got both. You've got a combination of a spark plug socket as well as sockets for either size bar nuts that you have on whatever chainsaw that you're running. But the big thing is, I mean, you get how it works, right? The big thing is at this point, all right, last time I couldn't recommend it. I couldn't recommend it because I had to modify it, and that was no good, all right? Could not recommend that to anybody unless they were willing to go a step further and actually modify the unit, which, you know, that kind of sucked because I truly thought that it was an amazing idea, right? Well, this time, what am I going to say? It still has one little problem. It's little. It's pretty insignificant. All right. But before we jump into that, would I recommend you purchasing one of these products? Absolutely. I used them, me and Indiana Doug and anybody else that was at our tent used it pretty heavily during the Paul Bunyan weekend and as well as the Sawfest weekend that I just got back from. And I won't say it was a lifesaver because I don't think any of us were in threat of dying, but it was excellent. It really, you know, there was simply no flaws in it whatsoever. It worked perfectly, and I love it. So would I recommend you going and buying one? I absolutely would recommend you going and buying one. However, it does have one little flaw, and I've already spoken with Nick about it. He seems to think that they can make some adjustments without any issue. And what that is this right here is a 50 gauge bar. Now let's see if it'll work. This tip is supposed to work. See how thin it is? It is supposed to work as a tool that can clean out your bar. Let's see if we can do it. Barely. Not really though. It doesn't go in there deep enough. And that whole thing should slide right in there without issue. But it doesn't quite go in there deep enough. Now, if you've got a bar like this, which is a laminated bar, you see all the little dots in there? Little teeny tiny dots, you can barely see them. That is indicative of this being a laminated bar. Well, a laminated bar, it'll go in there with not much issue, right? Because the laminated bars are going to be inferior steel that is being used. Plus, it's 3 separate layers of the inferior steel. On the inside, I think it's actually aluminum to give it a lighter weight. But the point is this right here will flex a little bit and have room for that tip to go inside there. Whereas this, I believe this is a GB bar, and it's going to be a higher quality, and you just can't even get it in there. It's not even remotely plausible. So, the one thing that it's got going against it is that tip doesn't fit all the way in 050 gauge bars. And I am an 050 bar guy, right? That is what I do. And, you know, 058 every now and then if I have to. 063, never. I don't ever want that stuff to come across my bench. I use 050. So why would I ever want 063? So anyways, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to see if I can take a little bit off of this. This is possibly hardened and it might not work so well, but I'm going to do it. But anyways, aside from that, one little tiny problem, and I do consider it a tiny problem. That is legit. I would definitely recommend purchasing this product because I love it and I think it's freaking awesome. So, with that being said, this one little issue that we got going on here, to me, means nothing, right? But we're going to see if we can file it up. It seems like it is cutting. In situations like this, usually I just spit on it and push harder. That's it. There we go. That's it. And now, do I think that this is still going to hold up? Yes, I do. I didn't get it hot. I didn't take much of anything off of it, really. It's still the same size that it was. Just a couple thousandths, really, about all I took off of it. My guess is I mean, going off of the measurements, if the measurements are what they're supposed to be, that bar is 050. This right here was probably 054. So 4/100ths of an inch. I didn't take anything off of it. So I think it's still going to be just as strong and just as good. I will say it would be nice if I didn't have to do that. Okay. But well worth it. I think that's a small thing to ask for a tool that is so far more perfect than any Scrench ever. So this is the most perfect Scrench that we have ever had in our lives. So I would definitely suggest buying one and probably look forward in the future. I bet you they'll take a little bit more off of that with the next batch that it gets ordered. Just a guess. I don't know, though. I don't know how things are going to work, and I can't guarantee that. But whatever it is, it's worth it. And so the next question is, where can you buy one of these? Just go to ratchetscrench.com and check out their website, and they'll have a list of dealers. I know that West Coast Saws offers them. I don't know how much they are precisely, so I don't want to get misquoted. But from what I've seen, I would consider them cheap. So, yeah. Perfectly acceptable tool at this point, and I would highly recommend it to everybody. Seriously, you've seen my other reviews. If something's junk, I go, this is junk. And the other review of this one, I didn't recommend it, the second version of it. But the new version here is really good. It's all forged, and it's meant to last. It's going to work for you. Okay, here we are. Go right in there, clean it out. Good to go. Very nice tool to have in your kit whenever you go to, anywhere. When you go out to get a job done, you go to an event, anything like that. So now, what are we doing? We are strapping on a full tilt race chain. Now, if you watch the channel, you know that I have had a never-ending struggle, seemingly never-ending struggle, to beat the C83 chain. Well, this, friends, can't give you a close-up, but is a full tilt racing chain made by someone that doesn't want to get mentioned. As always, what is it with this race world? Nobody wants to know that they did this. Don't want people to know that they did this or they did that or any of that stuff. But we're fixing to see if this full tilt race chain will outperform a stock C83 chain. I've already got the footage from the stock C83. Now it's just time to capture the footage with this race chain. See how she cuts. Ta-ta for now.